شيك ولادي.
نسمع صوت.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to the AUSMUN General Meeting. I know that it's a Thursday and a lot of you may want to be somewhere else. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Rima Dulaimi, and I am happy to serve as the 2022 to 2023 Secretary General for AUSMUN 2023. This year marks our 16th annual conference, and our general meeting is the opening of the official AUSMUN journey. So thank you all so much for being here with us today. I'm going to go through a quick agenda of what we'll be doing today. So first of all, I will be introducing our entire board. And then I will be passing it over to our advisors who will talk you through a little bit about what a MUN is. Then we will go over what organizer applications are and how to apply and what the organizer positions available for this year are. And then we'll move on to a Q&A. So if you have any questions, please hold off till the end of the session, and that applies for the online session as well. Those of you who have questions, you can feel free to put them onto the chat box, but we will get to them at the end of the session. Now, before I begin, I do want to also mention that we do have some deputy director positions available in some select organizer teams like external, logistics, and research. So without further ado, let me introduce to you our one of our advisors this year, Dr. Janice Lusk. Oh.
Sorry. Right. I'm too tall for this. Like, I need, anyway. All right. Welcome to the general meeting for AUSMUN 2023. We're excited, and we've been planning and preparing for a wonderful AUSMUN 2023 since the moment AUSMUN 2022 ended, like literally. Actually, during the conference, we started planning. For this year, our theme is embracing change, supporting growth. And our vision is to completely embody the spirit of adaptability, expansion, and progress. While today's workshop is focused on the more technical protocols and procedures, I like to offer a very brief introduction to the United Nations. So the UN was formed directly following World War II by the Allied nations. And in general, the purpose of the UN was and remains to prevent future global conflicts through intervention, to improve economic development worldwide, and to address humanitarian needs and human rights violations. And overall, the UN serves as an organizing body, providing coordination between nations, mediation, large amounts of data and information concerning things like global security, technology, health, economics, poverty, gender inequality and discrimination, climate change, and so on and so forth. As well, the UN serves to give a standard for fundamental universal human rights that ought to be granted to all people everywhere. So I'm gonna skip a little bit into AUSMUN and Model UN, and then come back to the UN for a moment. So the Model UN began as an effort following World War II as well to spread awareness of the United Nations and its operations. And I think many of you are already familiar with the fact that it provides opportunities for young people to learn about diplomacy and international relations, and the United Nations altogether via a simulation. It follows the actual UN protocols and the processes very closely, and offers an introductory career path into diplomacy as well. And so many people start with the Model UN in middle school or high school or even college, and then they get a thirst for diplomacy and maybe they go into political science, or they go into international relations, or they just go straight forward, if they're lucky, into the UN doing internships and work there. So why AUSMUN specifically? AUSMUN is very well known, and we're very proud that it's the premier MUN in the region. This year, we're still not back to our pre-COVID levels of 1,500 that we reached, but we are slowly adapting and growing. And we're gonna have 1,000 delegates we expect this year alone. As Reem pointed out, AUSMUN is 16 years old, and it's grown from 550 participants only about 6 or 7 years ago to the number that we're expecting this year of 1,000. And in addition to our magnificent board, we also have 3 faculty advisors. I am the lead, faculty advisor, because I've been doing it for a while. And then we also have 2 newcomers on board. Dr. Alisher, who is a historian in the International Studies Department, and as well, Dr. Stephanie, who is a political scientist in the International Studies Department, and who has actually been, out of the 3 advisors, she's the only one who's actually been in MUNs in the past. And so she has real MUN experience. The rest of us are just faking it to some extent, right? All right, so going back to the United Nations and how it works. Well, I know that there are many here that have participated in previous MUNs, either here at AUS or elsewhere. So some who have attended 6 or more, some who have attended on our board 17 somehow or more. You don't need special credentials to be a part of Model UN. You don't need previous experience. You don't need to be an international studies or international relations major, or, have this vast CV of IR related experience. You just need to study and memorize the chart. I do this joke every year. And know what everyone needs to do altogether. No, you don't. You don't need to know this chart. It's very complex when you look at the different bodies and entities. And usually our students in INS, they take an international organizations course in order to learn more about not just the UN, but other IO bodies. But yeah, this you're not expected to know exactly everything about the United Nations. Don't let that overwhelm you. Just focus on the main bodies here. So for example, General Assembly, right? This is the primary forum of discussion of global issues. Then we have the Security Council, which manages collective security operations. It dispatches peacekeeping missions, imposes sanctions to punish aggressors, and serves as a forum for negotiations and crisis management. And then we have ECOSOC. I always want to say SOC because I'm a sociologist, but the Economic and Social Council, which it has these functional bodies like UNICEF, the World Health Organization, or WHO, the UNEP and UNDP, etc. And then some more controversial units like UNESCO. This is the UN Education, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or the IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency. And then there's also ICJ, which is really popular here at AUS, the International Court of Justice. Overall, the UN also comes with its critiques. It's simultaneously viewed as being too weak and too powerful all at once, depending on who you ask. It has critiques surrounding the big 5, so those nations who seem to have the most power in decision making. Is particularly looking at the veto power of the allied nations of World War II holding permanent seats on the Security Council. So China, France, Russia, the UK, and the US. And of course, critiques of Western dominant ideology being too insensitive to differing cultural values. But despite all that, it also has its successes. And I'm hoping that that's what's going to motivate you. We need to be realistic about limitations, right? But still be optimistic at the same time. So unlike its predecessor, the League of Nations, it has served as a world forum for the discussion of issues and grievances. It does provide humanitarian relief, and it has facilitated some sort of, albeit flawed at times, collective security. And most importantly, is its ability to motivate young people to seek control and shape the future of our world. And so we're hoping that whether you're going to end up participating as a delegate or as an organizer, you'll keep that in mind. Helping young people have an amazing AUSMUN experience as you're also having fun with us during all of the very hard work of planning this conference. Please, you all, as the board comes up to speak, give them your attention. They have been working tirelessly since last semester, right? All through the summer, having meetings, lists of tasks, asking me questions that I don't know how to answer, right? They have just been working to get everything set up for you starting today. And so please, join us, be a part of it. Don't let their hard work go to waste, all right? So thank you, and yay, another MUN.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lusk, for that very beautiful introduction to AUSMUN and the United Nations as a whole. Now, I would like to start by introducing our Director of Research, Mohammed Junaid, to tell you a little bit more about the research team, how you can be involved.
Can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Am I audible? Yeah. Very good evening to everyone over here. As you already know, I'm the Director of Research for AUSMUN 2023. Before I get into what we actually do and what's the role of research team in AUSMUN, I'd like to inform you what other positions that are available for you to join. So this year we have a bit of different team dynamic. We will be, instead of having research assistants like last year, we'll be having 4 deputy directors. And we already have one of the deputy directors, Shivani, who is not here with us today, but we are hiring 3 more deputy directors for the research team. So now as we go into the research team, what research team basically does during the conferences is editing the background guides, reviewing them, editing them, and basically working with each and every committee, each and every country, and all of the topics that are going around the world. It requires you to do the research, write background guides, do reading, peer reviewing, editing, and all of that. During the conference, most of our work is working with the HR, assisting moderators, fact checking, and everything in that department. So what do you gain from actually joining a research team? As I've already told you, it's the only department that really works with all the topics and all of the committees in AUSMUN. So you really increase your knowledge and your analytical and research skills. Not only that, as you're joining AUSMUN and such a pretty prestigious conference it is, you get to meet new people, make new connections, and socialize and network. So what do you actually need to be part of the research team? First, and of course, the name says it, research skills. Secondly, we need the editorial skills, the writing skills, and most importantly, the time management skills, because we all know how tiring AUS can get, and it's really hectic to manage both together. And last but not the least, we need your commitment too. So if you're looking to work with all the countries, committees, and everything that's related to research and information, research team is the right branch of AUSMUN for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Junaid, for that introduction towards the research team. Next, I would like to call up Sara Bukhtish to tell us more about the human resources team.
So hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the 16th annual conference. My name is Sara Bukhtish, and I'm currently here at the American University of Sharjah. I'm the director of HR, and I'm here to tell you all about the HR and who's involved. I'd like to be muted, thank you. So as a start, we have the chair. Chair is basically moderate. First of all, you have to do so much, not so much work, but you're gonna do work before the conference itself, in which you're gonna help in writing the background guide. You're gonna research the committees, and also you're gonna be attending regular training. We're gonna train you as a team, and you're gonna moderate in the committee session itself. After that, after the conference is over, you're gonna need to evaluate delegates as well as evaluate the position papers. As a chair, you're gonna be the face of our conference, and you're gonna represent AUS. So, like as a requirement, you can be having previous experience is great. However, there are chairs with no experience. If you have the personality, have the knowledge about MUN, that would be great. Those are some of the chairing requirements. At least one MUN experience. Yes, MUN, that would be also great. You have to have great knowledge of the rules and procedures because, as I said before, you are the face of the conference. Hence, it's so important to know most of the details and most of the information about it. My colleague mentioned before, that I understand that AUS, it might be hectic. And for that, you need to commit weekly hours for that position. And also we are expecting external chairs. So that is also available for chairs outside AUS. Next, we have pages. So inside the committee, pages before they can help their chairs in writing the background guides. And for the pagers, they are required to attend certain training sessions. So they must be committed to that. And inside the committee sessions, their role is to basically pass out notes, help the chairs into guiding the committee, and check the language and content that's being in the committee session. And as a requirement, obviously, you have to be flexible in your timings. We want professional communication between you and your chairs. We want good communication between you and the delegates as well, because you will be in contact with the delegates as well. Your social skills need to be adapted to the AUSMUN as well. And most importantly, we have teamwork, because you are going to work. Everyone in that committee session is going to work in a team, and that's very vital for us as AUSMUN. Now, the most fun part are delegates, and I know many people from schools and many students want to be delegates. And the most important role, we always say that you don't need to have previous experience. However, you must know and you must be familiar with the topic that you want to do and you want to in the committee session. And before the conference, you are required to write a position paper to be submitted. And inside the conference, you must follow the procedures and rules. However, it is a learning experience, and we are welcoming advanced delegates, beginners, and intermediates. So AUSMUN is a place for all, in which don't feel intimidated by. I know some people have a lot of experience, but also it's a great opportunity to learn. So if you want to learn, and then you can progress with that. So as a previous experience, obviously public speaking is a very important one, as you need to be able. It will grow throughout MUN. However, it is great to have that as a great skill. You need to also be good at research, because you're going to do your position paper and you're going to be working with the research based on your research during the conference. So prior research is very important. More than that, you need to be familiar with the AUSMUN rules and the United Nations in general, in which when you come to the conference, you should be prepared for the rules, for the procedures, and how to communicate and how to deal with the committee itself. And as I mentioned before, the committee session requires teamwork from all sides. So as a delegate, you will, for example, write your resolution paper, in which it requires teamwork skills to work with other delegates and to communicate with the chairs or with other delegates inside the room. So to do that, you need your teamwork skills. Other than that, being a delegate is so much fun. I was a delegate before, and it was so much fun. So I advise you all, and I'd love to see you all being delegates in our conference. And we're aiming for 1,000 delegates plus, so that would be amazing. So on that note, thank you so much. And one last thing, my deputy here, Chris Khattar, and we have Zahra. So we're going to be around. Us three, we make such a great team. So if you have anything, you more than happy. Our contacts will be there. So we'll be there 24/7 to answer any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Sada. I would like to make a request to everyone online to please make sure that you remain muted throughout the session. Next, I would love to welcome upon the podium our Director of Media, Saleh Saqib.
Hi, everyone. I'm Saleha. So I'll be talking about the AUSMUN media team, arguably the most important one because we are the face of AUSMUN. On every platform, we are the one really attracting people, getting them excited for the conference, and also answering any questions that they have. We typically are also the first point of contact for people, and we direct them to the resources. So it is the most important. I don't even need to argue that. Okay, so the media team consists of 4 sections, photographers, journalists, media managers, and designers. Now, these 4 are integral because they all work together to really build AUSMUN's platforms. So what we kind of have to offer for you guys is creativity. You really get the artistic freedom to express your art in a way, whether it's photography, whether it's your style as writing, whether it's just social media. We really want to cater to you and see what you have to offer that can really help AUSMUN. You can see your ideas come to life. It's a very diverse team. Last year, I was part of the media team as deputy, and I found that I saw people from all over the campus, whether it's majors or colleges. It was such a diverse team, and I mean, that's what media is for. So you can also learn things about your craft because there was photographers in our team that were from a certain level of experience, whereas others were like maybe a complete opposite. And that really helped everybody get along on the team and learn from each other. And it's very like community building type of vibes. You can also add it to your resume, and you can also master skills in media that you might not have been used to before. So in terms of photographers, what you'll be doing throughout the year is mainly taking photo shoots of executive board. If you've seen our Instagram before, we do our annual photo shoot with the board. It includes executive board, deputies, and faculty. So you'll be helping out with that. You'll be covering all AUSMUN events. We have a few upcoming events. I don't know if I'm leaking important information here, but UN Day, barbecue night, and delegate workshop. You'll be taking photos for AUSMUN blogs and websites. We have a lot of newsletters that come up, and we need photographs for that are not only just of events, but also of the campus, of the UAE. There's a lot of different aspects that you can kind of play with. And also, of course, the conference itself. On all 3 days of the conference, we want to make sure that we get every committee, every chair, every page, everybody needs pictures. So you're going to be in charge of taking all of those. For journalists, you'll be writing articles for social media. I left it pretty vague because there is different types that we can do within this. You'll be writing for our blogs and newsletters. We have monthly newsletters that go out, and our blogs are also pretty diverse. So you're not set in this one specific, just writing about events. It's very diverse. And then you'll also be interviewing faculty and students from all around the UAE. It's not just the campus, but also students coming from high schools or their advisors. It's everybody included. So you kind of have to be social in that aspect. And then also looking for stories around campus that can relate to AUSMUN or the United Nations. We don't want to constrict you in what you can play around with. So whether you have something to offer to us, you're more than welcome to relate the idea to me, and you can go ahead right with it. For media managers, you have to come up with social media campaigns. So if there's something that interests you and you would like to do it over Instagram, over TikTok, over LinkedIn, whatever, we're more than happy to welcome you. Media management of specific media platforms. But that's obviously, of course, we have Instagram as our main one. We also have TikTok, we have LinkedIn. There's places that we want to expand, and we would love your help with it. You would also attend all AUSMUN activities, like, for example, today, to cover media platforms. So you would create stories, you would create TikToks. If there's an idea that you have for this that maybe we've never experimented with, we'd be more than happy to play with it. And then live coverage of AUSMUN events and conference. Of course, our media has to stay updated all the time. And so you'd be kind of posting the stories, really letting people know about everything going on. For designers who are very, very important to the media team, you'll be working on the background guides and placards for the conference. So every single document that you see in front of a delegate, whether it says their country's name or their position, you will be the one designing it. Come up with unique ideas to design goodie bags. As some of you might know, in our previous conferences, we have goodie bags. We're more than open to see like what other ideas you guys have if we want to include something else. Last year, I think we had notebooks, a bottle, I think a pen, and sanitizer. Oh my God, the sanitizer smells so good. And then you'll also be working on, moving on, you'll also be working on creating these certificates that every delegate and every organizer will receive. This is, of course, this is like the little memorabilia that you have for every conference. And so it's something so important to media. And lastly, you'll always have full credit of your work on all AUSMUN platforms. This is not just for designers. Of course, this is for photographers, journalists, and media managers. No matter what, you will get credit for your work. And so it's not that we'll put our name on it and let you go. You will always have credit. So what are the specific requirements? For photographers, you're required to have your own equipment. As long as it's anything that's a camera, that's fine. There's no need for like a black magic that you need to have. It's fine. No, just the camera will be fine. Some sort of artistic expressions, you need to have an idea of what your style is like, what your ideas are like, what you like to really play along with, and then also an eye for composition. Usually with these things, it's important to have your own personal understanding of what you're looking for so that you're able to get that in picture. And also you need to be inquisitive and decisive. Because we have the conference over 3 days, we want to make sure that everybody sees, everybody's pictures are chosen from every committee. So we don't have like 200 pictures from one committee and the other one is just 50. We want to make sure every committee is represented and all the pictures are very, very high quality. So you'll also be needing some basic photo and editing skills. Not too extreme, as long as you kind of know how to work around with this stuff, that's fine. Attention to detail, of course, this is the most important whenever you're looking at anything to do with creativity. And then also ability to create high quality images. This, I don't mean like literally high quality. I also mean that it has some depth to it. It has some understanding. You're not just there taking pictures, rather there's a story to it. And also technical skills. If you know how to learn or adapt quickly on learning how to like use equipment, that's amazing. We definitely need you on the team. So for journalists, you need to know yourself as a writer. For this, I don't mean like, oh, like in classrooms, I do this, that's fine as well. But see what your interests are. What are you interested in? Maybe as a writer on our team, you don't have to always do like exactly blogs related to AUSMUN. If you see something on campus that might add to our conference, you're more than welcome to join. And then also the ability to develop ideas. If you have an idea, know how to work on it, know what you want from the piece that you're writing. Excellent writing skills, of course, a variety of writing styles. So maybe you're not just focusing on like storytelling, rather you're also doing like descriptive, you're doing like other styles. Social skills and communication. Of course, a journalist will be the one interviewing a lot of other people. So they need to build that repertoire with the other person. Understanding yourself as a writer. Of course, this goes along with the first point, and then ability to pick up a story. If during the conference at any point you feel like some like very juicy stuff is going on, you should be able to go and kind of get that story in a very professional manner and also kind of iterate that to our audience. And then, of course, attention to detail. So for our media manager, you have to work well in a team, specialize in a specific platform. It doesn't have to be Instagram. Instagram is our main platform, but it can be anything else. You have to be open to try new things, full of unique ideas, understand AUSMUN's audience. Of course, our audience is pretty diverse. So as long as you understand a single aspect of it, that's fine. Have a genuine interest in Model United Nations conferences. Bring in media tools to utilize. This is vague enough that you can bring in anything, and then know how to engage with people. Because of course our social media platforms are the ones engaging people on a first come basis. And then lastly, designers. You need to have basic graphic design skills. If you're a CAD student, we welcome you with open arms. Ability to code multiple certificates so that we don't have to go through it one by one. Rather put it in a program, go through it, and you're done. Contributing unique ideas, working well under pressure, knowledge of design tools, attention to detail like the previous ones, confidence and creativity, and willingness to experiment. So you should be able to play around with different styles, know what you like, know what you think will suit AUSMUN. And yeah, that'll be it for media.
Thank you so much, Salaha. That was quite a detailed introduction into what the media team looks like. And just a shout out for the presentation as well to the media team for creating it. Next, I would like to call up Samira Khan, who is our Director of External Relations.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say hello to everyone and thank you for making it today evening on a weekend. So my name is Samira Khan. I'm an environmental sciences major in my sophomore 2 semester, and I'm very honored to be serving as the Director of External Relations for AUSMUN 2023. Before I even begin, I want to give an honorable mention to my deputies. One of them is right here, Michelle. And another one of my deputies couldn't actually make it today. Her name is Jovita, and I'm so honored to have them on my team. So first things first, I will speak about the deputy position. Unfortunately, it is full as of now with my 2 amazing girls, but organizer positions will be open for external relations team, and I will be speaking a little bit about that. So first things first, what is expected out of the external relations team, or what is our team about? So the external relations team is, I would like to, first of all, agree with Saleha that, yeah, media team is the backbone, but external relations is the main reason why AUSMUN happens. We are the ones who invite all the institutions and schools to come to AUSMUN, to inform them about our conference, about what is happening, how to sign up, all that information, apart from obviously media playing a major role as well. So one of our really important tasks is to attract vendors and caterers. As you all know, social night, everyone loves being there, everyone loves the food, and we want to bring back amazing food and have a great time with everyone. Another thing that's really important is to extend our invitations to local institutions. So that includes all the schools and universities all across UAE that can come attend our MUN, be delegates, as our goal is up to 1,000 delegates. We're really hoping to reach that. So that's one of the tasks of external relations, to make sure that all institutions are invited. Another really important task is to organize overseas conference. Now, what I mean by that is basically there's MUNs that are happening all around the world, right? Like we're not just unique. So to go to MUNs that are happening abroad, external relations looks into different types of MUNs that we can go to. If you guys are following our Instagram page, you would have seen that there is an upcoming MUN to Morocco. So just like that, there's many opportunities that are coming up for MUNs. So you can keep a lookout on our media page. Another really important task is to invite VIP guests and keynote speakers. And as Saleh has already spilled up, our UN Day. So on our UN Day, we are hoping to have really interesting and really fun VIP guests and keynote speakers, some really inspirational people. So keep an eye out for that. So again, organize UN Day, barbecue night, and other events. We definitely deal with more of the events portion of the conference leading up to the conference. That's what I would like to point out. And arranging accommodation and transportation for participants of the conference. So AUSMUN is very proud to say that we have international delegations as well, like international people coming from abroad to come and be delegates at AUSMUN. So we are very proud to say that we are able to accommodate them in, like arranging transportation for them, housing for them, and so on. All right. So during the conference, what our main task is, obviously, once everyone is there, the conference has begun. That's what we do leading up to it. But once the conference has begun, we meet and welcome delegates, which I feel like is very neutral to all of the directors and the rest of the team as well. Solve problems. That's a very vague term, but solving problems basically means, anything that might arise either when it comes to advisors or delegates, any sort of issue, we are there to solve it. Assist delegates during registration. And if you may know, early registration has already begun. So that is also an important task we take care of. Assisting vendors and caterers, that's, telling them where the location is, where they can set up their stand, all of the above. Social mixer and closing ceremony. I feel like those are the 2 main things that people come to AUSMUN for. So we definitely arrange that and we ensure that everything goes smoothly, everyone's able to enjoy. And just a little teaser, but we have very exciting things for this year's closing ceremony as well as social mixer. So I really hope you guys attend as organizers or as delegates or even as deputies. So lastly, I just want to go over some of the skills required. Now, again, as I mentioned, deputy positions are full, but organizer positions are open. And so what I would be expecting out of deputies is also similarly what I would be expecting out of organizers. One of them is writing skills. That is important because we'll be sending out a lot of emails. A lot of our communication is via email, especially for delegations that are coming from abroad. So having good writing skills is really essential. Public speaking skills. The word external gives you an idea that you need to be a sort of extrovert for this role. Not saying that introverts are not allowed or are not welcomed at all. Everyone's welcome to join the organizers team for external relations, but you need to have a knack of being able to speak to people, customer service, different vendors, different sponsors, different people. Like you will need to talk to a variety of different people and you need to have the confidence for that. Organizational skills. That is because we will be dealing with many events leading up to MUN, as well as two major things, which is social mixer and closing ceremony that can take up a big chunk. So those are important skills to be organized. As everyone has mentioned before, the other directors, the AUS can get hectic. I'm no shadow to that. Like I know that as well. Another really important point is problem solver and interpersonal skills. I like to club these two because problem solvers, there will be issues that may arise, although we will try to eliminate them or try to ensure that they don't happen as much as possible. Issues do arise, and that's what makes us human. But someone that knows how to deal with certain issues is very important and have the skills, interpersonal skills, as well as public speaking skills to go and communicate with certain issue or with people as needed. So that's just in a nutshell about the external relations team. I am very excited to see all of you guys here and also hope to see you guys joining our board as well as our external relations organizers team. I'm very biased to external relations, so I hope you guys join my team. It'll be very fun to work with me. I can tell you that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Samira. And I can attest that working with Samira is actually really fun. Finally, I would like to welcome our logistics director, Utkarsh Chahun.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for dedicating your weekend evening to us. So I'm going to make it worthwhile. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Utkarsh Chauhan. I'm a junior one student majoring in mechanical engineering, and I'm minoring in music. And AUSMUN, I was one of those people when I joined uni. I didn't have any prior MUN experience, is to say. I did have logistics experience. I did have event management experience in school, but MUN, I really wanted to get to know the insides and the outsides. But I was always afraid that if I go in as a delegate, what if I'm stuck to one classroom? What if I'm stuck to a group of people? I want to know the in and out of everything. So as everyone said, the media team and the external relations, everyone is the backbone. But when the conference is going on, logistics is the essential backbone of the whole conference. The other teams, as essential as they are, they're all working behind the scenes. They work up to the day of the conference. We work when the conference is going on. From we are the first ones to arrive on campus. We get in charge of the goodie bags, escorting schools here and there. And then towards the end of the conference, let's just say we all become a family. I see many familiar faces. Many of you have been in the logistics team last year in the organizing team, and you're back. So good to see that. So just to begin, a scientific definition of what is logistics works. It's the science of planning, controlling, and managing the transfer, storage, and other tangible and intangible operations performed in the process of event planning and management. So yeah, that's a huge sentence. But essentially, it is the backbone. From welcoming delegates on the door to making sure that within the small committees that are taking place, the events that are taking place, we make sure that everything's running smoothly. And what do we do? So country assignments is the first task that we do. While everyone's working before the conference, media is uploading, external relations is getting in touch with in schools. When the payments are made, when the registrations are done, we are the one who delegate the equal amount of people from each school to make sure they have a diverse experience. They're not just constricted to their own classmates or their own schoolmates. We distribute them in all the committees so they have the experience that they need. And preparation for the conference day, goodie bags, name tags, certificates, and awards, setup and preparation. So now, sure. Any questions? All right, I think she's gonna. All right, could you please mute yourself? I can't see her name. I think she realized it. All right. So yeah. That was a good question. So yeah, for the as you heard Reem say, we have almost 1,000 delegates that we're expecting this year, and we used to have 1,500, even more. Goodie bags, name tags, certificates, and everything for those 1,000 people. You know how much work it takes. But in the end, I can assure you, it's all just fun. When you're all working in a team, you're making sure that all 1,000, each and every delegate is taken care of. It's just a wonderful feeling at the end of it all. So to organize the conference, so you're registering delegates, then we usher them to their assigned location, the assigned classrooms, the wonderful campus that we have, the huge one. They do get lost more than often. So yeah, assigning them to the right buildings, setting up rooms, preparation for the social night, the arguably the most fun event, and ensuring safety protocol is followed. This is something where we often take it lightly, but then during MUN, when people are, dressed up in their best outfits, coming out from their buses and everything, there are some places where you have to take care of them, and we're there always. And again, I'm telling you that there's a reason why the organizing committee applies again and again to be in the same organizing team, because you form connections that are going to go ahead for a long while. And so the skills required, adaptability, of course, on the spot. We're going to train you for various things, from all the way to from where each classroom is to where to guide a person if they want to ask something to someone. But on the spot, you're going to have questions which you can't even think of. So, and I'm a good advocate for that. Teamwork, absolutely. Basic Excel skills, flexibility, time management, attention to detail, and most importantly, dedication. Now, it doesn't mean that people who join the organizing team, they're not able to stick to it, or they're not able to dedicate. But sometimes they do feel that since they're there from the beginning to the end of each and every day of the conference, it does get a bit tiring. So you need to be dedicated to it. But the best part is the team and the vibes that we all get from each other. All right, the process of the application would be introduced by Reem, but before I finish that, there are organizing slots open as well as deputies. I have one deputy here with me, Sasha De Cruz. Really honored to have her. She has joined us today for the conference, and looking forward to your applications. Hoping to have you on my team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Utkarsh. Honestly, logistics, they do a lot of good work, and we do love logistics. They do so much amazing work that the conference genuinely could not go on without them. So thank you for that. Next, I would love to welcome on to the podium our Deputy Secretary General, Shahid Mahmoud, who will talk you through the process of application for both organizers and for delegates.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for our board who gave you hopefully an insight about AUSMUN, what goes into it, and everything you need to know to join this great organization. I'm Shahid Mahmoud, as Reem just mentioned. I'm serving as Deputy Secretary General for this year. And I'm probably one of the people that Dr. Lusk was mentioning with the alarming MUN experiences. I've had a lot of MUN experience, and I keep coming back for more every single year. And if this isn't enough proof that you guys should join this family as well, I don't know what should be. I've experienced the conference from all angles possible. I started off as a delegate, I became a page, I became a chair, and now I'm on the board. And I've been honored to do so, and I hope to see you guys also join AUSMUN in the future and in our conference. So I'm going to walk you through the process of application. I know you all really want to join now, hopefully, after these wonderful presentations. So this is how it starts off. So you could visit our website, www.ausmun.com, or our Instagram page, which I hope you all follow, where we have links for registration and application. So on the application page, you can fill whether you'd like to be an organizer or a delegate. It will ask you for basic information, and once your application is through, you will get a response within 5 to 10 working days from the logistics team. And within the response, you will find the waiver form as well as how to pay and the amount that you need to settle. So there are 3 registration periods. You can find all of that information on the website with different application fees. The earlier you apply, the cheaper the application fee for delegation. However, being an organizer is free of charge. I hope you all know that. So there are two ways to pay your application fee if you would like to be a delegate, and that's either through direct transfer or through Al Ansari. And if you pay through Al Ansari, make sure to include a note that it's towards AUSMUN. If it's an organization that's sending a delegation, it is preferable that all the amount is sent in one payment through the faculty advisor. And students who pay, whoever sends the payment, or whether it's an organization or individuals, you must send a confirmation message to logistics, replying to the email that confirms that you've paid, as well as your Emirates ID and contact number. If it's an organization or faculty advisors that are attending that will be sending, only the person who paid should send that information. Next, I will be talking about the dress code for AUSMUN. For the conference, we dress formally, fully formal attire. For men, no polo shirts are allowed and no jeans, and you must come in complete suits. Also, for women, your shoulders must be covered and you should dress in formal pants and shirts or knee-length skirts or dresses. You must follow the AUS guidelines as well for clothing because we are hosting the conference in our university. However, abayas and kandoras or traditional clothing in the UAE are permitted as well. Next, I will be walking you through the ambassador program. So this is a program we are very proud to continue moving forward with. And what an ambassador does is basically he or she acts as a liaison between the board and the institution, school or university that is sending the delegation. So you may wonder what benefits exist if you were to be chosen or if you were sent as an ambassador. First of all, you will be attending the conference free of charge. You will not have to pay a delegation fee. You will also be receiving a certificate of appreciation, and your picture will be posted under the ambassador program section of our website. For you to become an ambassador, your faculty advisor from the respective institution should send an email with your name, contact number, and mentioning that you will be the ambassador to info@ausmun.com. So once that is sent, please make the subject line as AUSMUN-ambassador program, so we know exactly who it is, and then you will be able to receive all the benefits that an ambassador does. So thank you so much for listening. I'll leave the floor to Reem and any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shahid, and thank you to all our directors and our advisors for all the lovely information that they have shared. I will now open the floor to any and all questions, if there are. Yes? Right, so for a deputy, they act as similar to assistants to each director that they're assigned to. So they wouldn't complete organizer roles per se, but they would aid in assisting them and managing them. So similar to what a deputy director does, as they mentioned, each deputy director acts as a head or a manager for each team, and the deputies act as their vices or their executive assistants in some way. They work with the team that they're assigned to. For example, deputy director of logistics would work with the logistics team, but they work in a more managerial position than a organizer would per se. I hope that answers your question. Perfect. Yes? So our general meeting happens annually at the beginning of each conference, but we do host delegate training workshops that occur closer to the conference. If I'm not wrong, it'll be on January 17th this year. But we do host workshops in each institution by invite. So if you do want us to visit your institution to have a similar meeting, we would be more than happy to do that. You can just send an email to info@ausmun.com and get in contact, and we can set up a meeting in your own institution or here as well if you would like. Go to the website
pay the money, I will represent them. Once the money is being paid, that means they are.
Exactly, yes. So once you settle the amount and you send a proof of payment, basically the receipt that you have paid to logistics, logistics will send back a list of countries and committees that have been assigned to your delegation. And you can choose which student gets which committee or which country. And then you would just send that list back to us. It would be a link through a Google form that you would just have to fill, and that would complete the entire registration process for the school. They would have paid and they would have received their country and their committee allocation. So that's basically why the ambassador program exists. Once the ambassador for your institution, if you choose to have one, gets selected, we typically create WhatsApp groups between the ambassador and the board, which is why we ask for their phone number, so that we can have any information or any events that we have, we relay them to the ambassadors, who then relay them to their school. And we typically tend to keep our phone numbers and our email addresses very available to all our advisors, so they have easy access to us. I'm not sure if there typically is a advisor WhatsApp group chat. No, there is no. There is no advisor group chat, which is why the ambassador program exists. Exactly. So delegates are ambassadors, but not all delegates are ambassadors. So you would pick, for example, if you have 10 delegates from your institution, one of them would be the ambassador, and that person will be free of charge. They also get assigned a country. They also get assigned a committee. It's just that prior to the conference, they have a bit more responsibility, where we communicate with them to relay any information, or if the faculty advisor has any information that they want to relay through the ambassador, that's typically how it would work. No problem. Any other questions? Yeah, but yes. Mm-hmm. Right. So at 7 p.m. tonight, the organizer applications go live. You will see that the organizer application is the same for all positions, whether it's logistics, media. You would fill in your information and you would have a preference list. Either you have preference choice 1 and preference choice 2, and you would just select which team that you would like to be interviewing for. If you get shortlisted, you would be contacted and then you would come in for an interview. After the interview, you would find out whether you've been selected or not. I hope that answers your question. Okay, perfect. Yes? Mm-hmm. You have your preferences similar to when you're applying. This would be within the human resources team. So typically, once all the chairs are selected, there is a link that goes out where you can basically select or have a preference of which committee you would like to be a chair in, but that doesn't guarantee 100% that you will be chairing the committee that you choose to go for. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes? No problem. No question is random. I'm not sure what you mean by meetings. You mean the conference? Yeah, so all organizers would be at the conference from the first minute to the last second of the conference. Whether you're in media, external, research, we would expect you all to be there. Yes. Yes? So the organizer applications go live today. All the information is there with all the dates, but the organizer applications are open for 1 week only. So the last possible day for application of organizers is on the 15th of September, 11:59 p.m. next week. Yes, you had a question? Yes, so this year it's 3rd to 5th February, 2023. Yes? So you would apply by submitting 2 of your preferences. You could be interested in human resources and media, so you would put them in your preferences, but you can only be an organizer for 1 team, not 2. I thought that, yes. I'm sorry? Yes, so you would just select the human resources team when it comes to preferences, and then that would just be it. Yeah. I believe there are some questions online, so I'll go through that too. Are the media team applications open to non-AUS students? So that's actually a really good question. The only non-AUS application that is open, so basically external organizers, would be in the human resources team as moderators. All other organizing positions are only available to AUS students, like logistics, research, media, external, and I don't think I'm missing any. Yes. MUNs. What if student alone with the school? Okay, so if a student is registered on their own, there is a non-AUS individual application that you can do at AUSMUN.com. And if you're an AUS student, there is also an AUS individual application. Are there any questions inside here? Just I'll keep pausing. No? Okay. So can ambassadors still participate in MUN regularly? As I mentioned before, yes, you will still act as a delegate. The only thing is you would have more responsibility before. So again, you can only apply for 1 position. You can apply for 2 different teams, but you can only be selected for a single position. Are applications for chairs from non-AUS through the institution we come from or privately? You would just fill in the organizer application that's available at AUSMUN.com. Yes. AUSMUN? It's in AUS. AUSMUN. Yes. That's perfectly fine. So if you're only interested in 1 team, just select that same team for both your preferences. If no one has any questions in here, you're welcome to join us outside where we have some refreshments. And if there are any other questions or someone would like to approach me, feel free to do that. Thank you again to everyone for coming, and thank you for our directors. You can go along. I'll just finish answering these questions. Okay, what is the registration price for delegates? So registration is early registration phase at 150 dirhams. The second registration phase is 200 dirhams, and the third registration phase is 250 dirhams. How do you apply for the organizers? Because I checked out. So the registration link will be active at 7 p.m. Yes. Thank you. Mainly photography, but journalism as well. So how many do you take per like how many positions are available for photographer? Me, Saliha, can you come here? How many photographer positions do you have available? I'll look at the application. Do you have to like submit like examples of like photographs? You don't have to do that during the application, but if you're chosen to visit you, you have to show that picture. I will. Okay. So like I've only like could you email me this PowerPoint? I could be so like to go out. Sure, no problem. Yeah, I can share with you that email. If you can send your email address and just mention that you want to share the PowerPoint at info@AUSMUN.com. And this will be posted on YouTube, by the way. So where the director for everything, this entire presentation will be posted online. So you can always follow up with it. So for those who want to join an organizer position online, the link is currently not active yet. It will go up online at 7 p.m. So yes, again, ambassadors attend as delegates. There is no age requirement for registering as an organizer, but keep in mind that organizer positions are mainly open to AUS individuals. So typically you would have to be a freshman at AUS. So applying for an ambassador means you would have to speak to your faculty advisor and say that you would like to be recommended to be a ambassador for your institution, and they would have to email me your name, your email address, and your phone number for you to be selected as the ambassador. Being a chair is also an organizing position. So if you're interested in the human resources team, that's completely up to you. I personally do not have preferences. I believe every organizing position is integral on its own right. Can there be more than one ambassador per school? No, so we only have one ambassador per school. And for a number of delegates per school, currently we have up to 50 delegates from each school, but we may increase the number later on. Can we join the board of directors? Of course, you can join the board for upcoming years if you are an AUS student, because that is the minimum priority. Okay. No problem. So an individual cannot be an ambassador if they're not representing a school. If you are joining as an individual, you would have to register as an individual delegate. There is no ambassadorship if you are not your institution is not registered. So again, if you are coming from a university, universities also can register as an institution. It is not limited to high schools. So application for schools, the last day for application for any school is November 30th, where you can apply as a complete institution delegation. So an AUS student cannot be an ambassador of any other institution because you are an AUS student. You only represent AUS. You cannot be an ambassador for anyone else. The conference is held from 3rd to 5th February. So again, for deputy positions, you would be contacted if you would qualify, if you are applying for a specific team. For example, media is looking for another deputy. So if you impress the deputy, the director of media during your interview, she would ask you back for an interview for a deputy position. AUS students can be any organizing position that they would like. They are not limited to chairs. So can non-AUS students join organizers or chairs? Non-AUS students can only participate as an external moderator and is not open to any other position. Can we be a photographer for not AUS student? No, organizing positions are only open to AUS students. The dates for early registration are from 1st to 30th September. Are there any other questions that I am able to answer? Do you have a question? Sure. So this entire session has been recorded and will be posted on our YouTube. But if you send me just an email at info@ausmun.com and ask for the presentation, I'll be happy to share it with you. No problem. I hope I've been responsive. Thank you. Hi. So the organizer applications will be open at 7 p.m. today. If you open AUSMUN, the website, you can see there's like delegate registration, organizing committee. There'll be a tab that says organizer applications. You just click that and you can fill in the application. 7 p.m. today. No problem. Thank you so much for joining us, Naz. I'm a Secretary General this year, and my name is Reem. I hope to see you at our conference. Thank you so much. I'd be happy to answer any other questions if there are any. Thank you so much, Majid. Thank you. So external moderators act the same as any chair would. They have the same responsibilities. The only thing is that chairs can be both AUS students or non-AUS students. There's no limit. Thank you, Rayan. I hope to see you at our conference. So Sanjana, my email address is either info@ausmun.com, or you can email me at secretarygeneral@ausmun.com. I can type it in the chat if you would like. info@aus. Secretary General, USMUN. Chairs can be non-AUS students, also is signing up for the external moderator position free. So there is no charge for any organizer position. You would be coming into the conference for free. Non-AUS students, the only organizing position available to them is in the human resources team. So if you are a non-AUS student that is interested in being part of the conference as an organizer, I would suggest applying for the human resources team. Once applications go live today at 7 p.m., there is a specific application form for non-AUS students that is referenced as external moderators. So if you are an external student that is not an AUS student, please only fill that form in. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shahid. Thank you so much, Alina. Are there any other questions for me here today? What do you need to confirm with me?
I will. Yeah, sure. The budgeting, the budgeting, everyone's just like, we don't want it. Like, I thought that honestly depends on like the discretion, like I will be sharing.
Oh, it's been not muted.
Okay. So I would just like to once more mention, if there's any questions for me or any of the directors, we would be happy to answer them right now. Otherwise, you can email us at info@ausmun.com if you have any questions that come up, or if you feel like we have not answered something that you had in mind. Please know that this entire session will be posted on our YouTube channel later during this week. All right, if there's no other questions, I will be closing off now. Thank you so much for joining us here at our annual general meeting, and I hope to see you all at our conference from the 3rd to the 5th of February. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great night.